You started a new workout program. You've been doing it for weeks and weeks. You weigh yourself and you haven't lost any weight. Today we're going to talk about why you aren't losing weight and why that's a good thing. I'm Coach Jay.
I'm Coach Wendy.
Let's get right to it. Coach Wendy, you work with a ton of clients, right? And a goal for a lot of clients when they come in is to lose weight, right? And a lot of them do lose weight, but sometimes they don't lose the weight that they expected, right?
Yeah.
So how do you deal with it when people don't get the results that they expect?
Yeah, so I go over three things, right? Number one is know what your body is made of, right? Number two, change your expectations, right? You might have to change a few things than what you originally thought you wanted to get to. Number three is basically kind of picking 3 to 5 non-weight related measurements.
Right, okay, so let's dig into that. Okay, so step one you said was knowing what your body is made of.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, you would want to take a scan to see what your body's made of, right? So when we look at the scan, we're looking at three things. We're looking at your weight, your body fat percentage, and also your muscle mass.
This is an in-body scan.
This is an in-body scan,
yeah.
Yes.
So this is one of the in-body scan printouts that we have here.
Yep.
So this is like what you weigh, your muscle mass, your body fat mass, etc. So this person has something like 31% body fat.
Right.
Right. So we're looking at that body fat number?
Yes. For most of the people that want to lose weight, yes, that's one that we look at.
Right. Mm-hmm. So why is this important? Like, most people are they hop on the scale, they weigh themselves. Like, why is it important to have all this extra stuff?
Well, because the scale is not everything, right? So that scale might say one thing, but when you're working with weights, right, then what could happen is that your muscle mass is going to go up, right?
Yeah.
But your weight won't change, but also your body fat's going to go down too as well. But the scale is not going to say all of that.
Right, got it. So this in-body scan, it kind of measures the muscle, it measures the bone, it measures the sort of it does like this bioelectrical impedance. It kind of measures what's going on with your body, and it does give you more interesting information.
It does.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, one thing that I find interesting when I look at this scan is the BMI is not really correlated with.
Never.
Yeah, it's not
never.
quite right for most people, especially if you train with weights, because you tend to be a little bit on the heavier side, but your body fat is a little bit lower.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think this is one of the best tools that we've ever spent money on at the gym, because we know now, okay, this is what we're working with.
Right. Correct.
Right.
Yes.
One cool thing about the scan as well, it actually makes a recommendation.
It does.
So it'll tell you oh, you should lose 20 pounds of body fat.
Yeah.
Or for some people it says, hey, you need to gain, 10 pounds of muscle.
Yeah,
or
sure.
even a few people, it's like you need more body fat.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
Yeah.
Or let's say for a person who wants to lose, they think they need to lose 20 pounds due to their BMI, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what the doctors or a physician recommended them to do.
Yeah.
The scan will tell them they only need to lose 5 pounds, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's very, I think, educational too for a lot of people, and then that's when, minds tend to shift to a different direction.
Yeah, and this is one thing we have to remind people, we're not a weight loss clinic.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? If your only goal is to lose weight, then you're in the wrong place. Right? You need to, in order to transform your body, you actually have to gain muscle while you're losing that body fat.
Yep.
Awesome. So step number 2, you said, was to change the expectations. Right? So you might come in thinking, I just want to lose weight, but we need to change that expectation so that you're gaining muscle or losing body fat.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And I thought we would go through a couple of examples, because we see this so often that I figured we'd go through a few examples of people where this actually happened.
Yeah, for sure.
So this first one, we have a female in their mid-30s, right? And they started at, you want to read us some stats here?
111. She was 111 pounds. She was 47 pounds of muscle and 23% body fat.
Right. Well, so she went up, actually. Her weight went up to 114 from 111.
Yes.
Right. But that was all muscle.
Yeah, so her muscle changed to 50 pounds, and her body fat percentage dropped to 20% body fat.
So she dropped from 23 to 20% so she dropped body fat by gaining weight.
Correct.
Wow, that's That's incredible.
Yes.
Well, did she have a goal to lose weight when she started?
So her goal was actually to lose weight, yes.
Huh.
Her goal was to lose weight and get stronger, right?
So she gained weight.
Yep.
She gained weight, but she got stronger, and her body fat is lower.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty
when
good
her
results.
weight's basically when her weight's even higher, right? So
Yeah.
she went up the weight.
So here we have a woman in her 20s, right? And so give us some stats here.
So she was at 197 when she started. She was 69.9 pounds of muscle and 37% body fat. And she, we took a scan every 2 weeks. Her weight was basically kind of the same, right? She dropped down to 193. But so when she was 193, she was 73 pounds of muscle mass, 33% body fat. Then she got down to 190, right? And then she was 74 pounds of muscle mass, and she dropped her body fat to 31%.
Right. So she dropped 6% body fat.
Yeah.
Right. So and she only lost 6 pounds.
Yeah, about 6
Yeah.
pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And so in this case, she was probably focused more on just losing weight.
She was just looking to, lose the weight. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the number one thing that we talked about when I first met her.
So if she only looked at the scale and she'd been doing this for, I don't know, 3 months or so, she would have been disappointed.
She would have, because she only I lost about 6 pounds, right?
Yeah, but because she started looking at other things,
Correct.
she felt a little differently.
Yeah. So then this person shifted her mindset. I want to get stronger now. I don't care about the weight now anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important to have a separate measure.
Yeah.
So here we have a male in their 30s. Yep. And so this guy started at
163 pounds, 74 pounds of muscle, and then 19.5% body fat.
right.
And then he went down to 161, and then went up 77.8 muscle mass, and then dropped body fat to 16.5.
So he only lost 2 pounds, but he lost 3% body
Yes.
fat. Yeah.
And that's in about 3 weeks, I want to say, when we took that second scan.
That's pretty incredible.
And similar thing with this scan, the person wanted to lose weight, right, and gotta get back into shape.
Yeah.
But his number one goal was to lose weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was kind of shocked to see that the body fat went down a lot, but just dropping 2 pounds.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like as you start to transform your body, you feel all those changes as well, right? It's not just like you're not living and dying by what's on the scale.
Right.
Like you're feeling that in all these other kind of ways.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, so step number 3 you said was you need to choose some non-weight measures. So we talked a lot about the scan and body fat, but what are some other non-weight measures that matter?
Yeah, so other ways that you're able to kind of, measure your progress and how you're doing with other than just a scale is one is taking pictures, right? So that's number one. I recommend people to take weekly pictures, right?
Yeah.
And
That's a really huge one.
It is.
Like
it is.
It's amazing. Like you don't see it when you look in the mirror because it's just so small. But if you go and look back on pictures of yourself, like even Facebook will throw up like reminders or whatever. It's just like, I used to look like that, huh?
Yeah.
And you just don't notice.
Yeah, especially if you're started working with weights, right? Your body definition starts to change. You see muscle on your hand or on your arms and on your legs, right?
Yeah. What are some other ones?
Clothes, right? So I ask people, hey, do you have like a specific jeans you want to fit into, right? So why don't we do it by trying on those jeans weekly or every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe a bikini that you want to wear and you always wanted to wear.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So because then you'll see a difference too, right? The bikini starts to feel better, or your jeans start to feel more like fit or looser, right, than before.
Yeah. That's why it's important to wear things besides sweatpants every day.
Correct.
Right. So you have some things. Any other ones you recommend?
Performance, right? Maybe you feel faster on your 400-meter run, right? Or maybe you're able to do more ring rows, right? Or more burpees, right? Or maybe you are doing burpees, but this time you're not feeling like you're going to pass out.
Yeah,
right?
So testing workouts and then retesting them.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah,
that's
that's
one
a
of
big
my
one.
favorite ones.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, when you start focusing more on that, it's actually more fun.
It is.
Because then you become more of like an athlete and less focused on like how you
Exactly.
are looking.
Yeah.
Right?
So your mind starts to shift back to a different direction other than just the scale.
So when you start a fitness program, you're not always going to lose weight.
Right.
And that's not always a bad thing. right? Because if you are transforming your body, then you're going to essentially change your body for the rest of your life.
Correct.
Right? And that's really the goal of what we're doing, right? You know, that number on the scale is just temporary.
It's just one thing.
Yeah, exactly. So do us a favor. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button below. And if you want to be notified when we publish our next video, make sure you subscribe. And if you have experience with a workout program where you were just focusing on losing weight, just share your experience below. Like, what happened when you changed that focus?